Na'Vi have done it one step in the right direction to that semi-final overpass, a map they chose, and the battle does go their way. The war, however, is still on, and Nuke is their next task. G2 need this one to keep the series alive in their hopes of getting to that semi-final stage here at the ESL One Cologne Lanxess Arena playoffs. Gentlemen, YNK, Sponge, I'm just going to throw this one to the wolves. I don't know how much time we have. I know there's a lot to be discussed. First things first, on a LAN record scale, Na'Vi have no right to win this.
No, definitely not. This is the lesser of two evils for them in their map pool, right? They don't play Cache. They have to ban that one. They must know going into this matchup that G2 are going to punish them and pick Nuke. And that's what we've gotten here, and I'm happy that G2 have done this. The only issue that arises, you don't really have a lot to go off on what Na'Vi can bring on Nuke, but whereas they can do their homework on G2 and be prepared for especially their CT rotations and try and take advantage of that.
Yeah, and G2 is undefeated, but you know, some of those wins have been very, very close. 16-13 Flipside, 16-14 Envy, triple overtime before that versus Gambit, right? It's not been like cruising for G2 on Nuke at least. And another difficulty that they have is they're going to start on the T side. And we've seen how hot Na'Vi did get on overpass on that CT side. It's definitely going to be the more favorable side for them to play on. The problem with Na'Vi is, from what we did see previously on Nuke, is that they are like struggling to find direction on the T side. You know, it's a lot of going out on yard, trying to get picks, you know, trying to find those duels. But if teams don't give them that, they really don't have a lot to fall back on.
Has any team in your mind got a firm grip of Nuke, or is it really, even at, at this stage, one map, offline stage, prep's been done, like there's no real
teams. I mean, there's
leniency.
Virtus Pro, FaZe, North, NIP previously.
But no G2.
I mean, G2 is up there, I think it's safe to say, but they as well, on their T side, to an extent rely on, keeping control of the economy, going for those early buys, resetting their opponents. In pure gun rounds, like if you were to play overtime against G2, there are much better teams who could execute the T side much better than them.
One of the things that G2 do have going for them is the fact they were finding a lot of entry frags on their T side. Like, everybody was opening up. They just had the problem. Yeah, they just had the problem closing out. Whereas on the flip side of that, Na'Vi had such a rough time getting any openings. I think they had like 6 entry frags in all of their T side. 2 of them were on eco rounds, which don't even really count. So them getting into bomb sites is an issue. For me, there's 2 pivotal players for either side, right? So Shock's on the CT side. He's that man who can do whatever he wants. If he wants to go under, if he wants to push up secret, if he wants to go help ramps, he can do that. And then you have Simple, who normally plays in that mini, I call it annex, that kind of area. And he's going to be very pivotal in that position, because when they do that wall of smokes outside, he can push through them, he can be random, he can be that thorn in the side of G2 and make their life very difficult.
So the odds stacked against Na'Vi, at least in our mind. We'll check out what the sponsors Betway have kind of pegged this one with already. Perhaps quite the upset/surprise in favor of Na'Vi. And yes, you can still see, the map. Despite a win on overpass, G2 are given a very clear edge with the odds there.
That's surprising. I know it was a close match, but you would think, the odds would maybe get a little bit closer, considering the fact they've already taken one map.
Sure. I mean, momentum is a real thing, and you've already made some fantastic points, both of you, as to where that Na'Vi side could find a chink in the G2 Samurai armor. But we are getting into this one. I just want to know, do we see a third, gentleman? Yanko?
I think so. I think G2 bounces back and we see Cobble.
And I certainly wouldn't complain. Going to see that Cobblestone third map decider, game 1 of our first day in the playoffs. Chad?
I'll be agreeable with that one.
Yeah, all right, rock and roll. Let's love you and leave you. The desk is going to go ahead, sit down, relax, and watch some Counter-Strike. And we're going to leave you in the comfortable and faithful arms of the creamy couple. Moses and Pansy are standing by to guide you through our second map.
Why did you allow this to happen? Henry started it, and now you're going to carry it on, are we? Thanks, Alex.
At least we're faithful.
Something, right? Got to find some silver lining in here, because this is a really weird map we're coming into, isn't it? Because, okay, both these teams don't play it often or in a LAN environment, right? Nuke isn't exactly something that sits very heavily in either team's pockets as an instant go-to pick, but in this matchup, it sits way more favorably with G2.
You'd hope that if Na'Vi is... They had to have known this was going to come out at some point with the way their vetoes always work out, so hopefully they practice this in their boot camp. This is fast-paced from G2, though. Flamey, he's got to drop down. He's very, very close to getting punished for this. It's always a little bit stressful when you're this player. Flamey, though, they've caught him out in the open. That's a nice shot. He needs more. Can he get one? No. It's a 4-on-4 situation. The rotation is on, but it's going to be a bomb plant.
Shock's in charge of that, and it's not. It's Guardian saying a big, fat no to him. MBK's going to get it back into control, but by now, that's a problem. Edward's got on the scene, and he's got some shots with that pistol. We all know him to be a bit of a pistol player as well. C's still alive too. They're going to pinch in towards the G2 boys, trying to fight this out. Edward chasing that down, maybe a little needlessly, maybe unsure as to where the bomb is. And it will be found by MBK in the end with the kill. The round does go on the board for G2.
I feel like that round is just like a display of Na'Vi not necessarily feeling comfortable with some of the angles on this map. Like, you can tell they don't really play it, they don't necessarily like it. I mean, if you have a USP versus a Glock, you don't need to be taking that fight at that staircase around the rap side, especially when the bomb's down. The bomb's not even planted. You don't. That's not a fight that needs to happen at that moment, and it's just a situation where you take away a lot of the advantages of the USP, and you give him to the advantages of the Glock. Close range, plenty of bullets, hard shot to hit. And it looks like ramp is going to be the abused portion there. Simple though with the deagle, but I think that headshot maybe convinced him to stick around a little bit too long.
Yeah, that full sense of confidence that you just like, I'll find another, it's fine, the first one hit. Not the case, but it'd be nice to get a bit of play in with the scouts. They need a little bit more damage done by maybe that USP, excuse me, that P250 or that CZ. And, well, not going to have a chance at Kenny already there. And yeah, it looks like Na'Vi a little out of sorts with the timing and the pacing on where maybe G2 are currently.
Yeah, that might be the goal of these first couple of rounds, is just abuse the hell out of ramp room, because it is kind of awkward on the rotations at times, especially if you're a team that's not great on this map. If you haven't like covered over like the theory behind the map and the theory behind your rotations, it can get dicey at times. So quick start, 2-0 for G2 on the T side of Nuke. Flamey and Guardian trying to keep these scouts into the next round. They're going to be back towards CT spawn. It's C's with a UMP who's having the issues.
Yeah, he's already gone. Guardian, at least get shocks and, you know, try and stick it out. Kenny, do you want to really lose the AK? No. Time to slow it down. Apex could have been maybe committed to that with only the SMG in hand, but you don't want to start losing out on more. You're sitting well on G2. There's no taking that away from you, but still. The two scouts do remain. No armor on them and not much else, so a clean round probably here from Na'Vi. Well, actually, look at the money. It's still not great. Simple's going to get a deagle by him anyway.
Yeah, why not? Go for the deagle. Saw the headshot last time. Maybe you can get a little bit more going on earlier and maybe just fall away. Help out. Interesting that G2, with those two scouts in play, they're going outside. So you'd think that, I mean, the smoke wall is obviously going to help, but, oh, that's quite nice. Apex gets one to the side of the head.
It's a little awkward. You're just like wondering, is there a gap in the smoke? Was that random? Because it felt very concise, but clearly it's just Simple doing what he does.
Simple's just one of those players that gets that luck to go his way once in a while, isn't it? You just see the name and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Body over towards the window, going to try and help things out. There's also one player ready to pounce down vents. The battle lines are set. Simple's going to get aggressively spots at the peak, and that's the deagle. It's not going to work.
No, it's not. And here comes Kenny S as well. Edward praying something would work. Guardian's going to land the shot with the scout. Hello, that's a second. MBK goes down. We're in a 2v2. And look at the HP on Body. It's very low. Shocks isn't much better either. And they don't have a plant yet. They do have the upper sight. The molly goes into a vent. Body's got time now. So they can start defining the situation how they want.
It's so close. You feel like Na'Vi, you really feel for him here because you feel like they have a chance with the HPs and the scouts. But then once G2 is able to escape to the upper bomb site, this becomes near impossible situation. It's going to have to be just a phenomenal shot from somebody to make it open. And Guardian, I mean, he realizes he can't even go up the ladder.
No. Really tough for Na'Vi to find any avenue of approach. Guardian's looking for a gun. Hoping he can get something maybe a little better than the scout, but I don't see there's much available for him right now. Oh, hello! Again, what are these shots coming out? Flamey. If I'm Body, make it costly at least.
Yeah, it's quite nice. I mean, yeah, you can't even be upset, I guess, if you're Na'Vi at this point, despite not winning. 3-0 for G2, but you've killed 4. So yeah, you've taken some of that money away. You've forced rebuy of some of the rifles. You likely keep the Galil. Guardian's going to upgrade from the Scout into an AWP. On to the gun rounds.
Yeah, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting for Na'Vi as well. They do have the AWP coming out on Guardian. Glass cannon, but he has a bit of utility. He's fine. He can make something count here, but Body's still on that Mac 10. Could be a bit of a terror.
Well, they have to have a plan, right? And obviously he's leading the way for a B hit. So Body perhaps thinking that maybe they're going to be missing head armor, but no one is. I mean, Guardian has no armor, but all the rifles have the head armor needed, and I think that's what Body's kind of relying on, is the mobility, is the ability to maybe just get a fortunate headshot, something a little bit cheesy. Flamey's going to have to drop completely blind. How does G2 progress here? Because Guardian's slowing him down, and there's Body. He gets deleted. Flamey again. Apex does find him on the entry.
Apex normally does deliver those sort of kills, though. Anytime he enters towards a bomb site, he'll probably land at least one. Find out the information. Very, very talented entry fragger, but the bomb's yet to be able to get into spot. It's on Apex, and now Kenny has Shocks and Co just hit the brakes. Looking to see if there's a playback in here from Na'Vi, or if they too will hit the brakes as well.
It has to be a mistake from Na'Vi in this situation, because Apex has the bomb and he's found himself indoors. There's really no great chance he has of falling back, so it's either Shocks making a play on someone in the rotation or someone peeks into Kenny. They're just trying to buy time. There's a smoke out. Apex has one of his own. He's trying to find Simple, but it's not connecting just yet, but should be able to get a plant with all the cover.
Yeah, good smokes coming in. That one's a little bit awkward, but he can probably work with it anyway. Ramp's pretty open for him. Apex trying to find a little bit of respite. He does get back towards that new room, as things are a little distracting. Kenny S is going to keep it all together, though. Going to find Simple pretty quickly, and now locks down that vent. Hard times now for Na'Vi to play this one back through.
Yeah. Kenny's got a great angle with this AWP. There's the shot. Tax Guardian down very low, and G2's going to win this one. It looks like it's got to be a save. No kits as well. No armor on Guardian. Chance there for Na'Vi, but they just couldn't find the moment to pounce. Great job from G2. I mean, clinging into that round just basically because of smokes and the choke point smoke on the bomb site. They're very fortunate to have those left, because the plan, obviously, to go ramp that quickly, led by an MAC-10, take advantage of some of the head armor, it didn't work out. It got stopped cold, but they're able to outlast Na'Vi in the round.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much Na'Vi has to bring up here, because, you know, when it's not in your regular map pool, you don't play it, you don't have particular depth on it. They're doing okay, but it's just, it never feels they're comfortable. It never looks like they quite have the timing right. They never quite get it all working, but again, money's going to be a bit of a problem here. They have no way to stop any aggressive hits. They have no mollies to put into play, and G2, they may not go for the aggressive hit, but they have an opportunity to do so if they want. So again, Na'Vi already on the back foot here.
Again, this is where I guess you'd rely on Guardian with that AWP outside. G2 can just avoid him, though. Really, really abusing ramp room, aren't they? I mean, Na'Vi's shown no ability to stop it. They've just been selecting to drop down, which is not a bad thing necessarily, but it seems like the rotations aren't exactly there to stop. I mean, the rotations aren't great timing to even prevent the plant. So G2 is very, very comfortable going into ramp room. This looks like it could be an upper split as well. Here it comes. Edward in the rafters, seized on top of the hut. Apex is locked out for the moment. All down to timing for him.
Yeah, Guardian's actually going to do work. He did find Apex, who's kind of prowling around for this siege. He's in the middle of no man's land. That smoke actually almost saves him to a degree. It gives him time to adjust, and Simple wants to keep it all going for Na'Vi. This is finally around. They've been able to control things. Guardian delivering a lot for them. 2 very big kills. And his Shocks left in a 1v3.
Can he do it? Guardian's going to be the first step, but he can't find the shot. He's trying to be aggressive, trying to take away at least one player. Oh, he had the opportunity, but Simple with the shoulder peek is going to bait him out. First round for Na'Vi on the board. 2 AWPs in hand on Simple and Guardian. That's what they relied on Overpass. It's a bit early to switch into it, but I guess if it's for free, you might as well test it.
No, absolutely, why not? I'm surprised that Na'Vi got away with that one. Out of all the rounds that they were going to win, that seemed like almost the least likely, but you can't, I guess, as individuals, they're still incredibly good. You give them room to be able to do what they want to do, they will be able to make it happen. Yeah,
and I mean, you're exactly right. That one smoke kind of helps Seized out get the 1 kill. Guardian outside finds nice timing. I mean, Apex could have wrapped around him, but the second kill is huge. And then, I mean, Simple, as we all know, making a play at the right moment with just a deagle. This one's going to be a little bit slower from G2. Apex again in a situation where he might have to go head-to-head with Guardian. Windows breaking, G2 lined up like an upper execute.
Who's on the other side? Seized. Last time got a bit caught out. Awkward positioning in the middle of the site. The smoke put in by G2 allowed him to kind of back away and still take a fight towards Hut, but this time he might not be so lucky if he gets caught out here. You do see them lining up. They're keeping hold of the mollies for quite some time. They might need to put these in. As soon as those smokes come into play, you can see the XQ begin. Nice stuff. That's better, but oh, Apex instantly takes his head off. Now Body tries to spray in as well. Has a bit of the action, but it's Edward from above keeping things together. Again, the vent dive looks like it looked like an option, but from the depths below, it's Simple. And now down to a 4v2. Na'Vi keeping this one pretty much in check.
Really nice play from Seized despite not getting a kill, despite dropping. And Shock's act, I think Guardian just faked him out to a huge degree, but no! Guardian was shot at. I guess maybe he thought that it was coming from the ground, but either way, Shock's is able to react. Over aggressive, but Edward is going to get his second kill of the round, and Simple coming up the vents. He's got Shox stuck in, but that's a nice headshot. Shox can try and do more. Again, whittling away the economy. There it is, down into a one-on-one. And it's Flamey with an AWP. Not exactly known for this weapon. Time is a factor. Down to just 12 seconds, and he's going to try and get on the vents, and he's going to do it. If that was an M4, it might have been doable. But this is a dicey situation. Molotov to protect the plant, and Shox is about to win a 1-on-3.
Mechanically flawless from Shox here. Smoke to block off the door. The molly bought the time on the vent to allow the plant. But now he has to pick his poison. He doesn't exactly know where Flamey can come from. And of course, Flamey has no idea where Shox may be. Flamey doesn't have a kit either. Shox so low though. Doesn't know that just yet. And here we go. Shox prepares. He finds a corner. He locks it down. And he must just wait now. Ignoring one of the sides. And oh, Shox. Beautifully played from that man there. Doesn't know how to lose, it seems. The
pre-fire from Flamey out to the right. He just tried to guess. Just tried to take a 50-50. That's a bit crushing. Again, you gotta wonder why he's picking up the AWP, known for his rifling, obviously. But Shox, what a brilliant effort. 1-on-3, huge win, and that's a dagger. That's the first one of probably many we'll see in this half. Na'Vi, tough buy for them here. 2 ops still, but UMP, Deagle, Famas, not a whole lot of utility. G2 can have their way with them.
Absolutely. Let's see how clean G2 can keep it, though. There's still double AWP. Guardian and Simple with that. No utility, as you highlighted. Apex, got to be careful. There's a player right at the back of Garage, that being Guardian, but tough angle to play from if he gets smothered and they lose some control. It's a little bit tricky, and here go the smokes. G2 being given a lot to work with here. Guardian's already going to find one, but instantly there's a trade happening. MBK to reply towards Seized, and now Apex clears the upper side. One man towards Crows and one on the rafters, but he's going to make light work of Edward. The second not so easy to find just yet, but there's a second man up in Crows. It's all a bit awkward from Na'Vi.
Yeah, and you can see how difficult it is with these AWPs, but there's Flamey with the Deagle. Now he's got him one again, and it's Guardian that lands it. Kenny's got him pinned down, though. What's his decision here? Flashbang out high, and he's going to go for the peek, but Guardian's ready for it. Swinging out to a new angle. Just can't happen. The AWPs for Na'Vi are reigning supreme on this map at the moment.
They're keeping them in the game. They're pretty expensive, but if it's working, you can't really doubt it. Their money is getting very, very low, though. Normally it seems that as soon as you lose money on this map, as soon as you can't afford the mollies and everything else you need, you kind of end up dwindling, but it seems they're able to still kind of stick in this.
This is going to be a big round. They need to win this one pretty solidly if they want to have a good CT half. I mean, they need to get that money under control, and there's an opening kill from Guardian again with the AWP. G2 is going to make their way outside, down lower. That's going to be called out as well. Simple's already dropping down ramp room. You can see Seized and Vents is going to be a line of defense. Those Tech 9s can get sketchy in those scenarios, though. Simple blinded up, and there's one of the AWPs, and this is probably the worst place to have one.
Yeah, Simple going for the 360 exit didn't really work out there. He gave it a good go, though, but 1v3 might be a little bit too far from Kenny at this point. Might be able to get a plant if he's somehow lucky, but there's so many players close by, and he has very little information.
Yeah, but it is Kenny. And it is his weapon, and oh, you could see a world in which that hit. But Edward gets a little bit lucky. He's gonna find that kill in the end. Third round for Na'Vi, still double up setup on board.
I'm not sure what to make of it yet. Like, I'm very glad to see Na'Vi doing well.
Yeah.
It feels like it's inevitably gonna fall away, but for now they've got control of the money. They've created a good situation where G2 can't really afford much. And individually they're playing well, but you'd feel that G2 should have depth here. They should be able to change things up. Not exactly an instant go-to for G2, but they have good play on it. They've got a very good result on it. They've got a lot to be looked at, and so far they're being caught up with here by Na'Vi, who classically just don't really play this.
Well, I mean, if you think they have the good operas, right? They should be able to make this map work for them. It just all depends on how the boot camp works, because we've seen them look so atrocious leading into it. But I mean, they have the operas to kind of at least get a pick or two outside when those kind of hits come in. And then be able to rotate into position down lower, and then now they're sustaining the economy. Now they're building it up, and they have the Molotov to slow down the fast tactics. So I think this is going to get a little bit tough for G2 in these next rounds. It depends on what we're going to see them bring out moving forward. A lot of their rounds came early on because of the abuse towards ramp room, so it'll be interesting to see if they go back to it if Na'Vi's going to have the solution.
It's a little bit tricky to hold, though, well, to take, should I say, when there is that double up in play. Now, we haven't really seen Simple necessarily dedicated towards it, but he can support Flamey pretty comfortably from maybe underneath Crows or around that sort of marker. There's a lot of opportunity for Na'Vi to be there Whether or not they're ready for that, yet to be seen. But a good buy going to come in from G2 this round, going to be in a better position money-wise. No AWP to be seen, which is a bit of a shame. It would be nice to see Kenny towards that eventually, but for now they have to worry what they've got. And this could be that ramp hit, but I don't know if they fancy it. You can see instantly Simple is there supporting.
He's actually not supporting. He's going to be the anchor with that AWP, so a little bit new for G2 to look at. They're slow pace in this round, though. They've got the smokes, they've got the flashbangs. There it is, completely blinding Simple. Now they know where one AWP is. Do they want to attack it? Because, yeah, they can't smoke them off like that. Some spam comes through, makes Simple grab a new angle. Again, another position that can be extremely tough because it can flash him, and now they're going to chase him down. They have to. Guardian's here on the rotate. He's got one. He goes for more, but Flamey, he's dropped Apex, so it is a man advantage for Na'Vi in the situation.
But they have managed to keep a couple of players alive. You still have the original man, Flamey, down below. Oh, that's big, though. MBK cracking that open means that now there's opportunity towards either bomb sites. They have so many opportune moments now. Edward, Guardian, and Flamey left confused as to what's going on. The bomb gets faked towards B. Kenny going to put that one down now.
It's actually funny that Kenny fakes that out because there was nobody near him whatsoever. He just didn't realize it. MBK turns into a lurker on this map. This is brilliant from him. He said part of the reason is he just feels so confident with the timings on it. Into a 2-on-2 now. Running out of time is Na'Vi.
Where are these after plant positions? Shox up in control room, is he? I think he is. And then Kenny just down by the door. So these two going to lock it down in a crossfire together. Bomb planted well for them as well. They should be able to watch this one out, but Edward now lingers in. Oh, he's found a clean frag. How has he done that? Where were you, Kenny? Get back in the action. He's there finally, but now just out of reach. Ooh, the bomb's starting to tick, though. You've got to be quick, Flame, if you want this. And no, Kenny has denies it at the very end, but it did get a little close.
Yeah, I think Flamey realized that the way the smoke was positioned, not on top of the bomb, it's pretty obvious where he's standing inside of it. Another round for G2. That one, though, they were tested in. The Ops did get the kills, but they're able to win out in a man disadvantage situation either way. A 3-on-4, doubling up in the window room. One AWP on Guardian for now. But I think Na'Vi is pretty much out of money.
Yeah, this might be the last real attempt at it. Apex taking the out of control. Flamey as well, gonna be back in spot on ramp. Not this time for Simple, of course. No double AWP there. Is Guardian the only one able to wield that? And over we go towards Shox again, having to suffer on a little bit less here, down to the Tech 9.
This is an interesting fight. I don't think Body's going to expect this angle. No, he's not. Flamey gets two. Can't get the third, but he's done his job, hasn't he? That's so far away from ramp room as well. Flamey's just like, well, if I can't hold it from back here, I'll just push up, and at least I can get the information out quickly. Look at the rotation already down low. G2, though, this flank from Shox, this can do it. The second dagger might be coming in. Edward's ready for it. Nice awareness.
A brilliant awareness from Edward to even consider that being a factor. And there's the shutout. Surely this is Apex falling. It's down to just Kenny S with a rifle. He's got the bomb still, 45 seconds, but 3 players to run through is a very tall task, but he somehow makes it down towards the vents. Is there a player lower? Yes, there is. Simple. Not gonna let that one slip, and Na'Vi are going toe-to-toe here.
Simple was down so fast. As soon as these kills come out, Simple already booked it into that position, and he was ready for it. So great defense from Na'Vi, and it's a shame that you think, I mean, there's the 1 versus 3 from Shox, absolutely brilliant, but if that doesn't happen, Na'Vi has a much stronger half so far into this. Regardless, they've fought themselves back into it pretty nicely, all things considered.
Thoroughly impressed. I don't know what their T-side's gonna look like. That's the next thing to put your mind to, but for now, this is really good. For a team who doesn't play it often, they've shown real capability here. Getting 5 rounds does mean you can bring something like that T-side if they have a plan in mind, but the smokes go down, the secret cross comes in, 4 players make it through.
He doesn't hit a single bullet, does he? Everyone over for G2, and have they got the rotation in time? There is 1 player in hut. NBK lurking that one out, could be dangerous, or excuse me, that was Shox actually. Either way, lowers the hit. Here's C's inside the vents, more missing. NBK takes it. Flamey's going to try and man this down low, and 1 more in the air, and he gets a 3rd. That's sick.
Brilliant play from him. This was all starting to look a little wrong, and it still is. With Kenny S alive, he's doing what he can to keep his team in this round, but there it is. Simple rips it away from him back into this 1v2, and Shox again, he does get some nice positions. He's able to worm his way in, but by now it's almost irrelevant to how the round plays out. You look to the one last round, that was way more viable up on that rafter and got taken down by Edward, but still, Simple and Guardian shouldn't allow anything to happen here.
Well, we've seen him clutch it out before. Certainly this will be more difficult, but down to timing, at least with this initial kill.
Wait, is Guardian in dark?
Below, yep.
All right, so yeah, they're playing off each other basically. They're just hoping that if one dies, which could have happened, the other would instantly be there. They'd have to commit to kill one of the two. And Simple was the one to find Shocks, not allow him to step any closer towards side, bring that Tech 9 to range. But this, you know, this normally maybe a one and done spot, maybe deny a bomb plant, trade into it, but Flamey succeeded and then some from playing out dark there.
Yeah, he really did. Those are the critical kills. If he falls there and they've swarmed the site, that's huge. Well, Na'Vi, now all the hard work is paying off. No armor on the G2 side of things, no utility, just the one deagle on Kenny. They finally got themselves in a position where they can take command of this match, of this first half. Kenny with a chance, and he tags Simple. Simple might just want to run, but obviously he goes back for it. Why not?
Simple, please don't allow things to fall away from you here. He's taken fights that he doesn't really need to be doing, because now Guardian's been taken down. He's a little lower.
That was the AWP as well.
Oh, God.
Yeah, if Kenny's able to get that, then it becomes a whole new level of dangerous, and he is. That makes Edward pretty much neutralized, but Simple's still fighting. That's why he sticks around. That's such a nuisance, because G2's thinking the way that we are. We're saying, stop fighting, go away, don't challenge us anymore. And look at him, he's still going for it around the edge of the smoke. Kenny hasn't even been able to get a shot with that recovered AWP.
Oh, he's playing it so well. Ensured the timing of a bit of a shame you lose out on Guardian, but overall, if he's able to kind of clear this up, no worries about that. Kenny S now desperate for an opportunity to use the AWP he's recovered, but at this point he might just be looking to save it. But the problem is that Simple's not having any of that. He wants it back in Na'Vi territory, and it will be. Na'Vi now gaining the lead.
What a smart round from Na'Vi, though. I mean, containing the danger. Wasn't a whole lot of it to begin with, but once Kenny S gets that AWP, there's a chance that it can blossom into something. There's a chance that that op can grow G2 to have an opportunity in the round. And Na'Vi just, nobody peeks it. Everyone just stays away, contains them in the outside warehouse. They know Simple won't let them down. They know there's players above and underneath the ladder. They can't go anywhere. Quite nice from Na'Vi to play that intelligently. Fast towards the upper bomb site. Guardian, though, wins the opening duel. That door's open to allow Kenny a shot, but Guardian, he's ready for it. He's going to go for more. He's hunting it down. The double scope over the flames. 5-on-3, but Shocks has dropped down to even things up. That's a sick play. SWAT team, and Edwards there to cover it up.
How is this still happening? Sees now threatened severely. Plays going through HUD, but oh, Flamey! Perfect positioning. Makes it just completely crumble under G2's feet, and now Apex trying to keep anything going in the right direction for G2, but it doesn't look like it. Bomb plant is good, but around is what you need.
Trying to do the sound cues to fake him out. Apex, he's got nowhere to go from here, hoping to just get one and disappear behind the doors. Here they come out the vents. There it is. Gonna run away, close it behind him. Chance for mobility here.
Clean kill is what worries me. Flash here, gonna underhand flasher, open the door and hope it works. Hopefully catches the guy who's peeking, covering the guy in the bomb plant. He's going to adjust though, goes up, and actually they've come off the plant. They don't have a kit either. Oh God, this could be it. Apex can make this one work, but can he get the lineup? Can he get it on? No, Flamey is there in support instantly. Never going to let the Na'Vi boys down, as the defuse will be close, but close isn't good enough for G2.
Oh, Apex, you could see a world almost able to make it happen. You love the idea. It looks brilliant. Not necessarily known for his clutches, but this play is quite nice from Shocks. He just knows he's got to make something happen. Guardian has no idea, and Simple cannot react in time. The G2 captain almost making it work.
All right, I'm not going to get excited by a team doing well on the CT side of Nuke just yet. All right, they're doing okay.
Yeah, it's not like it's suffocating.
No, it's not there yet. But is there a world we're going to start seeing where Na'Vi actually might win this?
It very well could be. Lauren, especially when you go over to the T side, just some timely economic resets, right? Just if you grind them down and you win a one round at the right time and they just can't get the money back, can never secure themselves, that's where you see CT sides collapse. That's why it makes it so impressive that Na'Vi at one point is down 1-5 in this half, but look at this. Looked like G2 was going to commit through that smoke. This is an awkward position for Flamey. There's an easy kill though. Can he get a second? Yes, he can. Clinical stuff. 4-on-3.
Perfection from Flamey. The 3 players now for G2 left in no man's land. Ooh, Kenny trying to find something, but Simple last time did so well from this spot. Still gets a tag, but receives worse himself, so needs to fall off this now. Leaves Body with a little bit more room to work. Exploring towards rafters. Kenny strikes, finds Guardian. Things start to unravel now for Na'Vi. trying to find position to still hold here, but 48 seconds is a long time, but that bomb's still pretty far back here. G2 yet to really make up their mind as to where they want to go.
I think a lot of this is going to be on Edward. Body's in a great position to pounce on this flank above heaven, and Edward's got to choose where he wants to take that fight. It's a pretty tough angle as well if you don't hit your initial shots. Timing now for NBK. Waiting for his teammates to get into position. Sees is in the upper bomb site as well. He's actually in hut. There it is. Perfect. And NBK can't get anything done either. Kenny's all of a sudden just in no man's land. No bomb, 12 seconds on the clock, and 3 players to find. All Na'Vi has to do is not peek. They just don't give him anything. Doesn't have time to go to the lower bomb site, and that's it. Round should be over, and Edward's going to finish it.
I don't know what to make of this. I really don't. I'm looking at this half. It's pretty solid. Na'Vi are in a good position. They actually could do this in 2. You looked at that map pool, you looked at the first map, you looked at the comeback they had to overcome. They are doing something incredible here, Na'Vi. If they get off to a good start in that second half, this game could be incredible for them. Who would have thought it at the start of this? But guys, we'll be back after just a moment's time. 9-6 is the score at the half.
Watching seasons change, our roads were lined with adventure. Mountains in the way couldn't keep us from the sea. Here we stand open arms. This is home where we are, ever strong in the world that we made.
9-6 is where we currently stand, and it's not to the team you're seeing on the screen, it's to Na'Vi on Nuke. A map that you would not expect, a result already sitting in their favor, 1-0 in this best of 3 series. And Na'Vi gonna do something that none of us predicted.
Yeah, this is a very dangerous half for G2 coming up. Absolutely not wanting to drop this. Definitely looking at the maps, and look at how those favors have swung the other direction, haven't they? Flamey has an incredible half on the CT side. So many double kills. He looked like he was under a lot of pressure to start that half. That's where G2 got most of their rounds. toward that ramp room where he was playing, but secured himself quite nicely. Na'Vi letting simple deathmatch, it doesn't go well. Apex and Shock's out there. He's not expecting the second player to pounce like that.
No, Kenny's got a little bit of a off angle. He wants to play towards ramp as well. No instant support there, but he can buy time. He's still pretty close by. Doesn't necessarily mean that Na'Vi are going towards it. Edward's already going to take up a bit of a go towards the outer area, but you've got to be careful. Those USPSs are so deadly, but we're actually seeing the P2Ks doing the work here. Edward already going to go down. Apex lands a stunner. And now Guardian and C's wondering where the rest of the team went. And they find out.
Good lord. I mean, I haven't even really seen a Na'Vi player take a shot. I think outside of Simple's first shot with the Deagle. I think Kenny's going to clear this one, so a little bit of a gimme. And they do all this without the utility that C's has, two flashbangs and a Molotov. They do it without getting even close to pressuring any of the defenses, just immediate executions from the G2 side, and Shox is going to finish it off.
Yeah, that was very, very clean for G2. Exactly what you want mentally as well coming into that second half. Get that first pistol on your belt, just get a nice buy going to the second, bit of utility there, some nades in case they try and make a vent dive or anything cheesy come through. They'll be fine. So we'll see what buy they go for here on G2, but mentally for them, great stuff. Be able to turn things back into their favor here. Good couple of nades. One molly on Apex, so I wonder if that's going to just go straight in towards door. And Na'Vi completely absconding away from the purchase again.
It's not going towards door. Apex would rather make the money. Easy kills there. The other three are going to be outside. Maybe trying to pitch them in midi, but it's not going to work. Kenny with two of his own. Be interesting to see if Na'Vi, I mean, they don't have a plant yet. They could buy in this third round if they wanted to. Be a little bit sketchy, wouldn't it, though?
And now they go for Tech 9s. Well, Flamey goes for a Tech 9.
This is maybe they're half buying on the third round instead of the second round, right? So next round they'll still be fine. Guardian's not going to invest. He wants the AWP.
Yeah. I was just kind of curious when C's wasn't buying up. I was then just like, what are you doing? But they have bought up now. It's all fine. Yeah, Guardian eyeing up the AWP, of course. But G2 prepare themselves again. Flamey going to be working his way outside. Oh, he's got a chance on this. NES caught in a bit of an awkward predicament here. He's overwhelmed. There's too many players around him. Yeah,
but it feels like Na'Vi's just lost too much. Even with that kill, they just don't have anywhere to go after this. I mean, Guardian's making his way downstairs, but the G2 rotation is already there. Shox has just gotten through window. No real gaps in the defense that I can see for Na'Vi to take advantage of. It's just got to be a fight. Usually in these rounds, in this kind of a situation, when things slow down, it's someone slipping into the defense and getting a backstab or something like that, and that's just not going to happen at the moment. Simple towards door.
He wants to, but there's a player by the old vent. There's one up in Crows, I'm pretty sure, so you're not having the luck you want. Simple's going to spam it away towards body, though, and expects to follow up. There's a couple of weaker players here, but he needed this clean more than anything. And there, oh my word, I almost believed for a second Apex deals with it, but that got a little scary considering Shox was down to 15, pretty low HP. Yeah,
he was very, very low, wasn't he? Especially if he had just fallen cleanly to the previous teammate. Either way, talk ifs all day, but we're getting into the first gun round. Guardian has that AWP, no utility behind it, just the armor. AK-47s come out. Kenny's going to be challenging with the AWP, and this is one of the interesting players on this map because he's one of the better players we have on Nuke with an AWP. On a map that you don't often see the AWP being dominant, Kenny finds a way. That's going to make it tough, though. Apex falls too easily, and Body's all alone up here, essentially. Edward finds that, again, too easy. Round's already over.
Yeah, where was the stopping power from G2? They just got completely shattered. That first shot was great. Guardian had enough of you putting, Kenny S towards your words. He was like, look, I want a bit of time in the sun, Jason. Where's my appreciation?
I don't think Apex realized how far swung out wide towards mid he was. I don't think he was that big of a target, but it's a little bit of the danger if you when you come in through that portion of the map to go towards the upper bomb site, if you spend time throwing those nades, if they're good spawns for the T side, yeah, the AWP can beat you to the angle. Also, an AK-47 might be able to grab an angle and get out. But yeah, immediate save call from G2, and that's smart because they had no leg to stand on that retake.
Nope. Kenny S picking up the spot. I think I wonder if it was Smith who did it first. I always vaguely recall seeing Smith the first player to sit right at the back by the forklift and watch that position. Even in actual gun rounds, while the rounds actually unfolding, he was back there watching the push towards Crows. So I see Kenny S doing a bit of that.
It's a cheeky position.
It's
no one likes to get killed by that position if you're. Because you have such a good feeling when you get that flank going on in the rafters. You're like, oh yeah, this is going to be great. I'm going to be the hero of the round. There's always some jerk.
Kenny S, quote unquote, some jerk. You've heard it here first. But
well, at least he was saving, right? But like,
yeah, that's allowed. Well, it's mid-round. It's like, why?
If that's like your defensive setup, because it's just you're out of every single other fight, every single other thing that can happen, you're just useless. It's just you're there for that one guy trying to flank around the ladder.
Okay, let's see how this round goes. G2 still have decent money in this point. They can get the rifles back that they lost out on. Keeping that AWP up is always great. But a bit of a play towards the outer area here coming from 3 players from Na'Vi. Guardian, Edward, Flamey, making headway there, but KennyS is en route. Now, he does have the AWP, but he's holding a bit of an awkward one. Good flashes as well. Going to force him off the angle, but a quick hit. Flamey goes. Oh, the follow-up is perfect. KennyS denying Edward the trade frag. He wanted it so badly. But now 3 players left standing for Na'Vi in a less than ideal spot.
He knew he had him low, but Edward should have known that the reload time for the AWP was in Kenny's favor. Able to get just far enough back to find enough spacing between the shots. That's crippling for this Na'Vi round. It's 10-9. Guardian outside, but with the 2-man advantage, no one from G2 is going to show. They're going to turtle up in these bomb sites. And there's not going to be a whole lot they're able to find. Body in the upper bomb site, NBK above ladder, Shock's already down low. Yeah, this is a solid defense that can't really be cracked at the moment. Shox doesn't even have to fight this, just has to spot it out. And he's gonna fight anyways. Good headshot, not taking a whole lot of damage, and Na'Vi's just been whittled down as they make progress. Yeah, they're getting map control, but they're losing everything for it. Shox is taking it all from them. One more kill for him, tapping away, can't handle it, but the teammates have arrived.
Such a well-needed round there for G2 as well to keep their money going in a good position. You have Shock sitting pretty well on 7.2, but the others were down to looking at around the 3K marker, and it could have gotten a little bit worrying, but that start from KennyS is something to be remembered. Easily getting those 2 kills for himself and then be able to back away. But on the other side, Na'Vi's money, well, that's where it can go. Down in the dumps a little bit here, a couple of investments, a Tech 9 upgrade or 2, a Deagle there, so nicer pistols, of course, but not too much else to write home about. Guardian doing the keen smoke. such a run through to get that smoke right, but still, Na'Vi now down to 1 flash to make a hit count and maybe a bomb plant if they can make it happen.
Yeah, that'd be ideal, wouldn't it? Just maybe a couple kills. 10-10, grind down that economy. Like I said, timely reset. And once you get towards 10-10, once you're starting to get to this stage in the match where there's only a few rounds left, I mean, that reset can be everything. So certainly keep it low, certainly put yourself in the position to grab that at the best moment. Oh, all right then. Body's still here to hold down the fort. He's got 1. He's got to be careful from Hunt, and he adjusts very, very well. A little bit of danger when Apex falls instantaneously, but it's all solved now. 2 kills, they'll be happy with that, reasonably happy.
Yeah, not bad. The first one was quite scary, wasn't it? It was just the pacing to it was like, this could spiral, but they were ready.
That was so sudden.
Yeah.
All right, well, timeout for Na'Vi. They're going to talk things over. Tactical pause as they try and figure out where to go from here. They had that 1 round to start the gun rounds where they just kind of walked out upper and got a couple easy kills. That's not going to happen every single time. The outside tactic fell flat. Might have just been an issue with, I mean, to be fair, it was KennyS there, right? They call that tactic another time. It might be, a different player. It might be a rifle that they can trade.
No, I do wonder what they come back in with now, because this is where you feel the lack of experience on this map could start to really wane on the Na'Vi side. I don't know how much they can fall to or how much variety they have to look at. Now G2's money's getting better and better. They can afford the full purchase with that nice cushion behind it as well. So things get a little more scary here, and you start to see that longevity building up. Unless Na'Vi are able to make an impact soon, as their money's still not great. They don't have any nades, they have no mollies, they have nothing to really play into it, aside from the smokes and the flashes. Oof, the boost as well towards ramp, that's not going to help the matter, is it? I'm not sure when Na'Vi are eyeing up yet, though. It might not be any sort of problem, but they can just leave Shox there. That's the best part. You can just leave him up there. You know he's going to be safe, and it looks like another quick hit, maybe towards that upper site. Looking at where Flamey's at already, he's going to start making headway. Oh, he jumps up. No, you could see the frustration. He had such an opportunity. What is going on? They're getting clustered up. Oh, this is horrible. This is absolutely vile to watch.
Yes, I mean, there's the inexperience right now as Lauren is, I don't know, vomiting, I guess.
It's not good, is it?
No, it's not good. But that's the inexperience, right? Everyone just bottlenecked Endured, and I mean, Shox is loving it. It makes it so easy. Just throw nades, throw utility. even that, I mean, they threw a little bit of an outside fake, right? They had a wall of smokes. Kenny was out there, didn't get any information, but MBK was downstairs, saw nothing. Flamey, yeah, you hate to see that kind of a jump, but it's just easy from there. 3 players out the door. They don't want to go downstairs. They want to try and go upper, but there's nowhere to go, and everyone's confused, no one knowing who's going first.
No, and you saw Flamey's camp at that point. If you guys weren't watching it, watch it back and see how frustrated he was at that jump as well. So if there's a tilt point, that could be certainly one of them.
Yeah, we might be there. Also, I mean, it's just kind of funny when you see Kenny gets that kill on a Flamey with that jump, and then everyone realizes, oh, Kenny's out in the upper bomb site. No one wants to go out. No one wants to be the one to swing wide. Guardian with the Deagle trying to pick someone off in the upper bomb site, not happening. NBK is going to be a little bit tested. There's a player that's, nope, not at all actually. Great shot, tags his teammate a little bit just for good measure. Apex tapping away. Guardian almost walks into it. This is going to be a pretty easy round. G2 now firmly in control, not only of this round, but of this game. The economy is built up. They're looking solid. Na'Vi seems to have kind of run out of ideas on this team side, and that happened pretty quick, didn't it?
Yeah, Apex starting to enjoy himself. You could see the smile for a second creeping on the face, and that is something far from what Na'Vi are looking like at the moment. Frustration, I can imagine, truly riddled throughout that camp where it felt like things were going very well for you, and then you hit that brick wall, and it feels like nothing you do is going to work. But they need a little more. They need something to start breaking them, otherwise G2 are going to run away with this, and they already kind of are. With their money so well set, you feel they can fall back onto any look they need to. There's so much variety. You saw that round, we saw Shocks on the boost, and they're going to do it again because it wasn't really worked out either. So he can go right back up there, free up everyone else from ramps. They can play around this and try and focus other areas, as Kenny might be put to the test soon as they are eyeing up that outer area.
Yeah, and if you're Na'Vi, calling a tactic that goes right at Kenny that gives him a chance to impact the round has got to be a little bit frightening. Seas is going to make his way across, though. There was a smoke. I don't know if that's intentionally missing or what, but oh, Guardian had the angle, but he lost it. Kenny can't recover in time. There it is, over the box. I don't think Kenny even realized he could be seen from there.
No, absolutely not. And a bit of information gathered, but to lose your life to that, really not worth it here. 5v4 now, Guardian's still alive. 22 HP's not perfect, but it's more than enough with an AWP. You can still make it count. They left Seas towards Garage, so he can still be a nuisance. Maybe make a pinch from the back of it, go on the flank when needed. And as we see, now that ramp run boost gets tested. Shock's been up here for the last 2 rounds, but they don't know that. They haven't seen this come through yet. Let's see how Shocks handles this one. 4 players about to... Oh, they check it. Brilliant awareness from them. He still finds 2, however. But Seas is in a good position again, trying to make it uncomfortable to rotate. Going to go on the lurk now as they do take over that ramp room and see where they go from this.
Seas better call him to this upper bomb site. Yeah, perfect. Because everyone from G2 rotated lower. Shocks, once he gets those kills, he's saying they're going down. Everyone tries to get there in time, but it's a ruse. Still a 3-on-3. There's Guardian with the AWP, giving an advantage away. This is much needed from Na'Vi. 10-13, try to claw themselves back in a clutch situation. Simple's up next, and he's going to win that. Apex ducks right into it. Should have been maybe an easy shot, but a little awkward staring straight down, and NBK's not prepared for Seas to be there. The hero of the round is Seas grabbing that map control.
Beautiful work. He felt that it could have gone wrong here, but Seas being able to manage his way to that sort of position changed everything.
Yeah. I mean, at least Flamey's jump that time was intentional. Can't be triggered on that one, can you?
Cruel.
Double kill, though, for Shocks, holds it down. It's just the rotations, right? Too much all at once. NBK was already downstairs. That entire round, he was already down below. So, I mean, you at least had someone who could have called him. I think they just wanted to beat the rotations. I don't know. Maybe they're just thinking that Na'Vi didn't have that kind of a tactical positioning or tactical knowledge on this map.
And look, G2 have been in this position before. They've seen what happens. All right, we've got a nice lead. Let's not get comfortable. Call that timeout now. Don't let Na'Vi get that, comeback run that they can definitely do. So again, timeout. Get your head in the right place. Get prepared. You're doing very well. There's a little hiccup in the road. Get back onto the road of what you expected to be doing here. Because Na'Vi, they're coming back into this one now. They're looking like maybe they've got a bit of a way to play this out. They need that little bit of a spark, but then they can ignite.
Essentially, Na'Vi's looking that they need to win the next 2 rounds. That's if they tie things up at 13-13, that's when the economy's pretty much broken for the G2 side. They still have good money, but not for too much longer if they continue to lose.
No, it can be thrown away so quick.
This is just a straight upper execute, isn't it? Flamey's going to lead the way. They're blind. He could get one, and he does. There's the trades. All they needed was that one opening, and they get into another gear. It's simple with 2 headshots.
Incredible stuff from Na'Vi. So much power on their hit, just committing together finally. We saw that round before with, what, it was Kenny S. As soon as they noticed him in upper, they completely shut down. They didn't know what to do. This time, right off the bat, great hit towards upper. No hesitation. Real powerful force there from Na'Vi.
And great from Flamey. I mean, he knows once you're that guy coming out hut, you're pretty much dead no matter what happens. His entire goal is just that one kill. And that's the kill that gives the opening, that allows the players coming out door to swing wide. And they don't fail him this time. Shock's just desperate to save this weapon, knowing that the money is low, knowing that it's on the verge of being broken. He's going to get a kill for his trouble, but now they can hunt him down, and Simple cleans it out. That's a more critical kill than you'd think at this juncture in the game.
So let's see the money now. If they'd been able to get that rifle over, it could have been a bit nicer. Tactical pause comes back in. This is such a mental game. These two teams just playing chess with each other. As soon as one player moves, there's an instant response and a thought pattern begins, because Na'Vi, they have control. They know that they're on the verge of breaking G2's money. They know that they're going to start feeling a little ropey here, but G2 had such a good run. They had such a comfortable stretch. But you've got to feel, imagine, when this gets tied up, if it gets tied up to 13-13, G2 start getting those flashbacks. They start worrying.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
OT comes in, what happens then? Are we really going to drop it twice?
This is when you also have that mental thing where it's just like, this should be our map. Surely, like we thought when this veto process, we thought we'd had this one. We thought we'd had this in the bag with these two maps. Scary situation, especially because, yeah, you're right. I mean, if that, actually, interesting switch up for G2. They go for a double op, and that certainly takes all their money out of it. That's where you can see if Shox is able to save that M4, maybe they don't have a UMP, maybe they don't have to switch into the double op setup, but I mean, that signals a little bit of desperation, certainly, that if this is the thing coming out at the moment for G2. Clutching at straws here towards the end. Na'Vi, do they think it's a save round? They're just rushing lower, aren't they?
Oh, God, what is going on? Kenny S is going to give him a big old surprise now. There it is. The ult comes through, and now he's just like, what am I going to do? Get some more. Kenny doesn't make it away cleanly, but 2 kills is massive, and now the SMG is coming through. Maybe G2 are working out. They didn't expect this, did they?
Why is Flamey switching into the ult? Although he hits the shot just as I say it. Nice angle to hold. He's fast enough this time. A double kill, and there's Guardian catching Apex out of position. All of a sudden, G2 is on the back foot. And Simple. Oh no, body. It's like a horror movie. You just know it's going to happen at some point if Simple turns that corner.
How do they locate these last 2 players? Shox is still alive. Body alive. Now Shox has been playing ramp occasionally. Oh, Simple's found him. This could be it. This could be back to 13-13. Na'Vi throwing our minds back to that first map, unless Shox can do something outstanding. But that AWP, he needs to keep this. Their money is completely screwed.
He's got no kit in a 1-on-3. I think he just saves this, and he can't do anything in this one. What a round from Na'Vi. The risk of just running outside, no utility used. They had to have thought it was a save. Kenny gets 2 kills, and then it's a shutdown from there. But, I mean, you could see it gets so confusing for the CT sides in those rounds when teammates, when the CT side, when so many CTs die in that fast of a sequence, it's just too difficult to shore up all the different gaps of that causes. Like, Body's on the upper bomb site, but he has no idea where anyone could be because he has no teammates alive to provide information, and he's just kind of stuck. You're just taking a risk somewhere, right? You either stay there and you get lucky, or you move and you get lucky. It's just purely based off timings, and not really a whole lot you can do as a defender in those situations. But they've done it. I said timely reset.
Yeah, you're spot on as well. 13-13, Flame's back on the SMG. He's like, now I can use this.
Now it's definitely
now
a
it's
save.
fine.
Yeah.
Shock still has the AWP. There is potential there, limited, however. But my word, what a cracking game we've got. Is this going to go back in the map pool for Na'Vi? Is this something they can actually now play, or is this something very wrong for G2? Maybe counting their chickens before they hatched. And Shock's not landing on the cross. He's got support. Deagle's behind him, but you kind of want those quick kills. But look at the HP. Guardian is low. Seized is low. This plays in the other pistols. Maybe there's a chance here. Simple wants to keep it together, though.
He better step it up. He's got 2. Oh, and he has perfectly. He's got the entire bomb site. Look at what he's doing here. He spots another one. That's huge. What a playmaker. He's going to get another. Simple keeps Na'Vi alive, and it's Shox again. A 1-on-3. This time he's got a chance, though. And he's going to get in front of the Molotov, but he's not able to do it. Simple has just given his team a lifeline. As they drown, he extends his hands. That is so beautiful.
I am taken aback by what Na'Vi are doing here. There's no doubt they are an outstanding team, but the odds were never good for them in this matchup. But now this is what could be the final hurdle here. G2 have a good purchase, they have a good buy, they have the double AWPs, they have Molotovs, they have what they need. But Na'Vi have everything else. They've got the momentum, they've got the passion, they've got the drive to maybe make their way through to the next matchups. But Shox is there, denies Edward the beginning, and things slow down for a second.
Second op is outside as well. It's going to be pressure towards ramp room. I think they've already dropped. Yeah, MBK just gave it up. Shox holding the angle. This is new. Oh, Guardian. Shox didn't even see him on a screen. That's going to be frustrating. Kenny's got to fall back. He's been forced away. Oh my God, C's already down vents. This could be at Apex. He hears the footsteps, C's, but he doesn't punish it. I think he just missed the timing a little bit, but he's got to have told his teammates someone's towards door. Na'Vi needs to be patient here.
Please check on this. There's 2 players so close by, and oh, it's not a safe plant. This is a disaster. It's unraveled. Guardian now, and C's have to do it all. Maybe C's gave a little bit too much room, but now he could be huge in this situation. 2 players about to fall towards him. One goes down. Oh, the second he didn't expect, but it's left in Guardian's hands here. The 1v1. This could get them to 15. This could get them almost winning this map and the entire series. Body now. He knows what task is on his hands. He knows he has to stop this, but Guardian, quick, he considers it and he gets it done! Edward, you see what that meant. You know what this now means. Na'Vi are on 15 rounds. They picked up map 1. Map 2 was something none of us expected. This could be them in the semifinals, Jason.
This could be absolutely shocking if Na'Vi's able to seal this one. It just feels like it slipped away from the G2 guys, doesn't it? Some of these clutches, we saw them winning them in the first half. Now lately, it's been all Na'Vi making the plays. This could be absolutely heartbreaking.
We asked at the start of this game, how bad did Na'Vi want this? How much did they want this win? How deep were they willing to go to be able to create a chance, a realm of possibility where they can win this series? We might have just found our answer. Still one more round they need. G2, desperate for overtime, desperate for another chance. Maybe they can pull it back. Maybe it's there for them. But Na'Vi right now, they're feeling it, and you can see it. Here comes the glass. It shatters around them. Normally, Na'Vi hit off the back of that quickly and concisely. Not this round.
It's such an ominous sound for the defense, isn't it? Feeling like that upper execute is going to come in, not knowing if it's actually going to be the commit, but either way. Smoke wall outside. Molotov at the stairs to protect them against a peek, clearing absolutely everything, not leaving anything up to chance. Guardian covering at range as well, and being silent this entire time as well. G2 is going to be unsure if they're actually making their way outside. And indeed, no one has dropped down yet. There's not a single person in the lower bomb site.
Are they playing full retake?
No, they just have no information. Yeah, that flash might give it away here, because Cease obviously doesn't know how clear it is, but the alarm bells are going to be going off for G2, and this is the wrong round to get outplayed this heavily.
25 seconds, bomb needs to go down, but they have it all, Na'Vi. They're even confused how they have this much. Simple puts the first nail in the coffin. 4 more kills, and it will be Na'Vi in towards those semi-finals, but there's still fight left in G2. But for how long? When Edward's trying to tear him apart, Guardian gets in on it. It's down to Kenny S. 8 seconds is not enough, and it's Na'Vi through to the semi-finals. Outstanding performance. They wanted greatness, and they would settle for nothing less. What a performance.
An incredible upset for Na'Vi. Guardian came alive on the first map, an overtime thriller. Simple was phenomenal across 2 maps. Such playmaking ability in the second half. Such playmaking ability on this stage. He wants to get back to those finals. They didn't look like they had anything in this series.
They've just proved so many people wrong. Their performance during the groups, it left us curious. We weren't sure what we were going to see. They made it through. They made it to the playoffs. And now we've seen Na'Vi in a form that is going to be terrifying to other teams. They will be keeping eyes on that going forward. Every other team now curious as to what's happened to a team who wasn't meant to be crushing G2 on maps like this. So we are waiting for that on-stage interview, I can imagine, to be brought together. But overall, where does this put Na'Vi now in the runnings?
Well, I mean, obviously, to see who they're going to be matching up against next. I mean, obviously, every team's going to be put on notice that coming into this event, I mean, their performance was questionable, their level was questionable, their map pool was questionable. But now you're seeing, I mean, if these guys individually show up to play, no matter what the results are across all the maps, I mean, they can still be a dangerous squad. They've just got too much star power, too much playmaking ability between Guardian and Simple.
Yeah, and speaking of Guardian, I think the interview is almost ready down there, and I think I see Guardian with red eye. So guys, let's head down to the stage and hear what he has to say after that phenomenal performance in the end.
Yes, thanks very much, Lauren. I am with Guardian, ladies and gentlemen from Na'Vi. Guardian, firstly, congratulations, great win. Let's go back to the first map, though, because I know what was going through your minds at half-time, because you were having an awful half personally. Na'Vi were all over the place, 11-4 down. How'd you bring that back?
Well, sometimes when you are playing on a professional level, you can have a bad side, but you know, inside yourself, you believe that you will come back on the other side. And I never give up. I mean, even if I will go 0-15, I will just come back and do what I have to do. And yeah, that happened. I had some nice rounds and we came back.
How big is it to win over G2? Because they've been in good form recently, haven't they?
Yeah, they are in perfect form. And I mean, it could be either game, but we were probably a little bit better this game.
When you came over to me, you said, I'm just so happy everything works now. Tell me why.
I think now I don't have any responsibilities, so I can feel freedom, I would say. I feel the game, I'm happy, I can focus on the game, think about the game and live with the game, so it feels awesome and it feels nice to play good.
Yeah, I was going to say you played much better in the game, and talk to me about that progress over the last few months to get to this position now. Are you at your Guardian maximum now?
Well, yeah, I would say I'm coming back, and for the major in Krakow, I want to be at my best form. So I will live with CS, and I will do everything for that major. And yeah, I'm sure I will come back even stronger.
Okay, last year's New York champion, so you're used to winning ESL One. It was a big event last year, but in Cologne, you've never got past the quarterfinals, so you've done it at last.
Yeah, it feels awesome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Na'Vi and Guardian are through to the semi-finals.
Na'Vi have done what many doubted. The guys have knocked not only G2 into the semi-finals, or out of the semi-final chances, but also they've done it for the first time themselves. You heard it from Paul in the interview. They've never made it to this stage of ESL One Cologne, and now they have. 4 times the charm, it seems, for Ladislav and the boys. And joining me now, I have Janko and, of course, Chad to talk through this one. Expectations were set very high for G2 in this tournament, never mind into this playoff and into this match. They themselves have just put out a lot of social media presence just stating not only heartbreak, but also not understanding where that loss came from. Fortunately, hopefully these guys can help explain it. Nuke, Chad, we'll start with that. A map that almost everyone here on this panel felt like the stars aligned for a third map.
Look, my sentiment is speechless, but obviously I have to talk.
It's your job.
I'm impressed. I'm definitely impressed by the way that Na'Vi were able to win that game, right? The fact that it looked very early on that G2 were making, a lot of space for themselves. They weren't making entries, but when they were going out the yard, when they were taking duels, they were getting enough space to make the rounds competitive, getting that bomb down time and time again. But Na'Vi impressively were able to get back into those rounds and win those 3v3 situations, win those afterplants a lot of the time, and that meant that they had a pretty decent CT showing.
Yeah. I mean, what did you make of that one, Janko? You made it clear that you felt like Na'Vi had the benefit of starting on that defensive side. And that first half was where they started their victory.
I mean, it didn't start off great, but for me, the key round was the round after the Shocks clutch, which we saw, because that G2 thought they broke the economy of Na'Vi there. And Na'Vi actually, because of the way, they dropped guns before that and so on, they had enough for a double op. And I think that's something that caught G2 completely off guard. They went on and lose that round, and that gives Na'Vi a lot of momentum. That's when they start being in the control of the economy, and it does feel like it was Guardian because of those rounds, and also Simple in some of the rounds in the second half, who did bring Na'Vi over the hump. And you have to remember, G2 also won both pistols, and they still end up losing the match.
Yeah, what's so outstanding about this is you've mentioned those two names. Both of them had 28 frags apiece. I mean, when we talk about Na'Vi's win conditions, it's very easy to forget that was always a story. Guardian, Simple, and Flamey. Checklist, tick 2 of 3, and you've got yourself a win.
I think you need all 3 if they want to win a tournament, right? But the issue before was not all the pieces of the puzzle clicking. Or normally it was just one guy who was having like a carry performance, and everybody else was lackluster. Here it felt like everybody had their moments, We obviously said that Guardian and Simple, they had huge scorelines, but even C's towards the end there, he had that really crucial play in the vents, and that helped them get across the line.
But Nuke, so their LAN record coming into this game, Chad, was 1-5 offline, right?
Yeah.
1-5, and they've just picked up a best of 3 win, and specifically a map win on Nuke. Did you see signs of preparation and kind of evolution of their Nuke gameplay, or was it simply, pun not intended, Simple and Guardian?
I think we gave the caveat, right, that they could really study the way that G2 play it, but I don't think that even really came into the fold. It didn't seem like they were playing yard and ramp to force the rotations. My most, the thing that I note as being one of the biggest things that they did, or the best things they did, was it was a well-timed top execute, and the flashes were perfect. It was off of a low buy, what you'd call an explosion, and it came in after the Molotovs in Hut and Squeaky Door dissipated, and the timing was perfect. And when they took bomb sites, they completely shut G2 out, whereas when G2 on their T side were taking territory, there was always that chance for Na'Vi to get back in it.
And so is there clear faults to be outlined for the French? When they look over this demo, Janko, is there anything that they're going to be kicking themselves? Because they had the Kenny S factor, they had a degree of an okay first half coming into their second.
To be honest, it wasn't anything major, but it was a lot of small things coming together, right? It seemed like the communication wasn't on point, because some of the rotations and the decisions of the G2 players were very, very questionable. For example, round towards the end, Kenny S gets 2 kills with the AWP in secret, and then MBK for some reason takes a peek out of vents, dies there. That gives control to Na'Vi, and you can see how G2 seemed like lost towards the end of that map. I mean, the very last round, just Na'Vi being silent in their way down secret, they get the bomb site pretty much for free, and that's something that you rarely see happening, because there's not that much risk if you don't know what's going on. If you rotate people towards secret, that's a lesser risk than leaving that lower bomb site open and focusing on the upper bomb site and perhaps ramp. But it's just a byproduct of what was happening to G2 prior to that round.
And a lot is going to be happening to G2 now. I mean, if you just kind of put it into perspective, an 11-4 half in the first map of Overpass, it's Na'Vi's map you have double-digit rounds, you feel like you've got this in the bag. You know Nuke's on the way, your mindset is an all-time high, and then Guardian comes online. He tells you he's a professional player, anything is possible, about half is possible. They win Overpass, and then you're like, okay, it's fine. We have Nuke, we have Cobble. This is where we're going to show them. We're going to put on a show for the guys in this arena, and it gets taken away from them by spectacular work from the old guard of Na'Vi. It's fantastic for Na'Vi, and it's heartbreaking for G2, and that is why professional CS is just so exhilarating.
I think the biggest storyline now is G2 was the clear favorite in the top half of this bracket.
Yeah.
Now you have C9 and NIP still to go up against each other, and whoever wins that will be taking on Na'Vi, right?
Yeah.
So
C9
that
Na'Vi
is anybody's
rematch.
game. Like, that is anybody's run to the final, which is insane when you think we were talking about the likes of G2, FaZe, and SK all being at this tournament, and now two of the three remaining in the lower half of the bracket. So we're not going to get a G2 SK final. We're not going to get a FaZe SK final. It's going to be one of these three. It's
going to be one of those three. Yeah, final words for you, Yanko, about that next matchup. Cloud9, it's time for them to take the stage. And should they win this one, they could very well get another match versus Na'Vi.
Yeah, it can be a very exciting matchup. We haven't seen much from NIP besides Cash, right? Is Cash even their strongest map? Maybe not. Maybe they have maps on which they're more comfortable on. But we only need to remember Cologne 2014 and these two teams playing each other to... That's a guarantee for a very exciting game.
And I've already seen, and this is true, 7 a.m. I saw 6 Swedes in a hotel elevator in NIP shirts with energy drinks.
I can confirm that.
The fans are here, and they're going to be making plenty of noise for the Ninjas in pajamas. Coming up after the break, we're going to be investigating whether the Ninjas have just been coasting on cash, or if they've just been keeping more tricks up their sleeve as we head into the second game of our playoffs here in the Lanxess Arena. Join us as Cloud9 meet NIP.
The Pay Safeguard post-match breakdown.